Hey, hello. Hi Raj. Hi Aaron.
Hello, everyone.
Hey. So I believe Nikin takes the O-1 office hours and he's traveling today. So
Oh,
I don't know whether you guys know me or not, but I am the founder of Visa Architect and I am also an immigration strategist. So it's been like almost like 8 to 9 years that I've been in the field. And today I have like thought of taking this office hours in terms of explaining what is original contribution and critical role in terms of tech industries and founder level, how to build your profile and make original contribution critical role as an anchor criteria. And other
mhm,
criterias could be like supportive to make sure that they are like able to anchor the original contribution critical role. Before I move ahead, anybody of you have any specific questions? If you are building your O-1 case and you want to know a specific question about any one specific criteria, please feel free to ask me questions. I'm more than happy to like reply.
yeah. I mean, if no one has any other question, then I have a question that what basically defines an original contribution? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
very nice.
confused about it. I used to think. I'm so sorry. I'm cutting you off here. I used to think if you have a PhD, that's equivalent to having an original contribution because your thesis is basically unique when you submit it. But I found that's not the case actually. So I got confused. Like what actually makes anything an original contribution, and how can we prove it? So that's one of my questions. If it-
Interesting question, and I'll answer this by layer, okay? And
Mm,
Mhm. also I will be coming up with how your thesis can be your original contribution, because this is not about having just a thesis, it's about how we positioning the thesis in the petition. So basically, original contribution is something that you have built by yourself, like a software developer who has developed a kind of a software or technology that you have developed. A lot of people who are in management, they also develop like policies, manuals, which are being used by the company wide as well as at a level, at a government level, authority level itself. So the understanding of original contribution is something that has been developed originally by that person. And in that respect, there are variety of evidence that we can put it up in terms of, you can say, for example, like you said, I have developed a thesis, or I have written a dissertation even. So I tell you
mhm,
how these works. So when we develop a thesis, it's basically a research work, right?
right, right.
80% is a research work. What we figure out from that thesis at the end is something that we are going to implement, right? So, for example, I
Mhm,
did my master's in law and I did my dissertation in arbitration and
mhm,
competition law. So, I researched a lot for 6 months and then I came to a conclusion and I said, if we implement these law in this direction, then we might come to an extent where arbitration can intervene in the competition law, right?
mhm,
Likewise, in the tech industry as well, or in any industry, when there is a chance a person is doing a PhD or a thesis, they are first understanding it, reviewing it, researching it, analyzing it. This is very different from actually building something core original. Okay,
Right.
so researching part is very different. And then, for example, you have done like 1 2 years of hardship in terms of understanding what you wanted to come across. First you understood that subject, then after you come to a conclusion, and then you understood that what I have to like develop. And if you are able to develop in that thesis, then it's good and fine. If you are developing in that thesis that, okay, this is the challenge and this is the solution. If we use this solution, then we will be able to overcome the challenge. The gap is here. When we talk about original contribution, we have to show the major significance of the originally built contributed substance. Like, for example, if you have developed a particular thesis and a conclusion or an impact of it, if you are able
Mhm.
to develop that conclusion into an authorship article and it has been implemented by any kind of organization or a university level, and they understand this factor up, now it depends upon what kind of subject you have taken. Like, for example, I have come across a lot of profiles which deals with, they are like medical related things, like they are associated with cancer, cancer medical devices, or kind of medicines that they can develop and reduce. We all know that right now in today's world we have a challenge with the cancer disease. So a lot of my clients, when I come across, they have developed kind of cancer related medication. And it's like theoretically possible, they have proven it, but practically it is not yet proven.
Right.
So for example, if
Mhm.
they have developed this thing in their thesis or in their research work, and they are putting the same thing in a hospital or in an organization where research developments are happening, and they are actually implemented her or his research paper of gathering any cancer related immune medicine, and it
Mhm.
has been experimented, and it has been come to a point that, okay, this particular medicine is 5% or 10%, is like immunable, or it does impact the body in a length, then that particular result can be your original contribution. But mere finding only that this is what is the substance, or this is the development of what my research is, would not create a lot of emphasis on it, right? Because in the original contribution we have to show one thing which is very important, is the major significance, the novelty of that product, the novelty that can like bring change in life or in the society. It can be vast, it can be very small. So it totally depends upon how that particular original contribution is actually being recognized by the society, by the organization, and howsoever.
Right.
Did I
Yeah,
answer?
yeah, it helps understand. So you mean to say that thesis can be used, but you have to explain what is the original idea in it. That's
Yes.
not. Hmm.
Original idea plus what major significance it has caused. Like, let's take an example. I'll give you a very
Mhm.
small example, like a patent, okay? A design patent and a utility patent. Somebody has a design patent and utility patent, okay? This is the basic and organic example of it. So somebody has a you can say a patent on their name, and after that they wanted to use this in the original contribution. Number one thing, is this doable? Definitely it's doable. Number two, how we can present it. Oh, I have a patent, so it's by default a original contribution that I've created because it is registered under my name. But that's not sufficient. What I have to show in the patent to USCIS is this: how this patent is being used, where this patent is being used, what major significance this patent has come across, right? And is the industry experts are using these patents? Has it been recognized? Patents also gets royalty. So is this patent is getting earned? I mean, it is being used by the organization or an individual as a license. You have given the licensee agreement. So is this patent is being used? And who is using this patent? What's their experience? So these are
Right.
some of the major facts which can bring your patent and which can easily make you, approved for the original contribution.
Got
Okay. So I'll share my screen. I have prepared a document
Mhm.
specifically for original contribution and critical role. And there are other criterias as well, but I have not explained in length because these two I feel are the major two pillars of, talent visas. And then I'm going to also share a concrete document checklist, what it looks like, how it looks like if we prepare these document checklist. It will be like a solid, evidence bunch to be produced or to be submitted to the USCIS. Okay. Okay. So USCIS looks to original contribution in this way. So open source work, creating or significantly contributing to an open source project that others have adopted is one of the clearest examples. GitHub stars, forks downstream dependencies, and mentions in technical blogs or documentation on all help demonstrates this. So what it is actually saying, I tell you. For example, Raj has you know, a book written or an authorship article written. But if you're just going to say that, okay, this is what I have written and use it as an original contribution, then at that moment of time, I believe that USCIS is not going to get convinced for just this much. They would also want to see how many people is being using this particular original contribution or an article that Raj has developed. What is the impact of that particular article that Raj has? So if somebody is citing Raj in their own work, whether it may be a research based work or it may be an original contribution, that really helps Raj in making that particular article viable and acceptable. That's what they want, a documentation. So, for example, Raj has written an authorship article. After 8 months or after a year, I am researching on the same line of what Raj has already prepared. Okay. And then what I understood is, okay, this is how what I my anticipation for my paper is. Later, I start researching on internet and I found that okay, Raj has written a superb paper on this, and few of his hereabouts I can like literally use in my article, and I will integrate all of them and I'll use it and I'll cite him. Then my citation work will impact his original contribution in proving to the USCIS that, hey, see, one person who has worked on this expansion or extension of this article has actually used my work, and this work of mine is being like expanding and also having branches to it. So people are seeing using it and working on that aspect. This is what open source work. So in case in future, if any of you decides that I wanted to write an authorship article, please be ensured to have your ResearchGate profile or create your Google Scholar page, and you can like upload it. It usually automatically gets uploaded because of the algorithms. But just in case something happens due to technical glitch and it doesn't, feel free to manually upload this. It's very important if you prepare any kind of document like authorship articles or any kind of articles, even the trade publications, it should be open, like it should be open source work. People can see and cite through it. Research and published work, peer reviewed papers, preprints, technical blog posts that spread widely, or internal research that got cited externally. The key is that others engage with your ideas and built on them. Yeah, the it's very important if you are actually even um, reviewing somebody's paper, how it should be like reviewed, right? Because you are also reviewing somebody's paper, it includes just not in the original contribution, or somebody is reviewing your paper, and these can be used in a very in a very different manner. Usually usually there are lots of journals and publications out there who do their own research work and build the authorships articles or any articles in that segment. If you are one of the participant, they definitely use that particular paper to cite. So it's very important to engage with your ideas and build on them. So somebody is using your idea and building their own ideas on them. It's also an original contribution because the source of idea is from you. So what matters is where the source is coming from. Like I said, the patents. So a granted patent is direct evidence of novelty. But do not stop there. You need to show the patent was used, licensed, influenced product development in the real way. So many of my clients come to me and say, Swati, I already have a patent. I have filed my patent. They have some complex issues. So I have filed my patent. My company has filed my patent. But the patent which is filed is already been used. That technology is already been used by my customers or by my company. So to just secure that particular technology, we are now patenting, but it has not been granted. And today's my RFE, it will take like 3 months to get patented. How we should solve this issue? The ideal understanding is to get a letter of recommendations from the people who are actually using that patent, right? That technology, not patent, and letting them know that this is already under the progress. Patent application will be helpful. Patent usage would be helpful. How that technology has been used and why it has been patented. So these are some of the documents which we can really secure and make it work. Now, novelty architecture or method. If you designed a system, architecture, training approach, or engineering method that others at other companies adopted or referenced, that works. An internal wiki document does not. A widely circulated blog post or conference talk does. Definitely, as I said, a manual, a policy, a training, and system of architecture, which actually makes a lot of impact on a larger significance of people, that definitely going to be taken as a novelty of the work, which impacts a lot of life, which impacts a lot of community. Industry standards, participation in shaping a technical standard, IEEE, IETF, W3C, or a framework that became widely adopted falls squarely in this category. A lot of my clients like are became the senior member of IEEE, and then slowly they start participating in the IEEE, their conferences, their peer review process, and a lot of things are inside the IEEE. Later at a stage, when they realize this, they understand the part that okay, then they become an integral part of IEEE. I'm specifically talking about IEEE because I have a lot many examples on the IEEE. So a lot of people think that okay, let's get IEEE senior membership and we can fulfill the IEEE senior membership criteria. Okay, yeah, you might, but if you are not participating in the IEEE, then it might not come across a very good idea. So you have like if you are become a member and then you becoming a core member of IEEE, and then you are building a technical standard inside it, a framework inside it, then definitely you will be like taken, this particular act will be taken as a original contribution, a, a standard which has been built, okay, and which is going to be used by many people used by many institutions to recognize and understand how it works. Now, how to frame your contribution. The most common mistake people make here is describing what they built instead of explaining what changed because of what they built. Here is the difference. So, as I said earlier, we have to showcase the major significance, like what they have, what you have built, and how a major significance has been developed. So a lot of people write, I built a distributed coaching system that reduced latency by 40% at our company. But practically it should be something like this. I published the architecture and benchmarks which were adopted by three external teams and cited in two conference talks at Cubicon. So here it says how many people have used it and how it impacted it. So letter of supports for original contribution. Yes, we do use letter of support for original contribution as well, just not for critical role or just not for like any other criteria. Expert letters are critical for this criteria. A letter should not just say this person is talented. This is completely a corporate level experience letter if it is coming up like this person is talented. That's not what USCIS wants to look at. It needs to explain what the contribution was technically speaking, why it was novel at the time when it was made. There is very good chance that you built something 3 years ago and after that it has been used and it has been like, you know, used by others and a lot of developments has been taken place. But it does not says that, it does not mean that the novel idea that was built is now not anymore. It still has the essence because the core part is when it has arise, when who is the resource, who is the person behind that idea, what changed in the field, company, or community because of it, how the letter writer came to know about the contribution, ideally through their own work, not just reputation. The best letters come from people outside your current employer who encountered your work independently. Now, here is the catch, and the catch is it's very easy if I'm working and I can go and say to another lawyer that, hey, see, I have built a framework and which is very beautiful. But at the same time, if somebody who is out of my employer or out of my even domain is a third party independent expert person and who has actually saw the beautiful thing that I have built and come across to support as a contributor to me like a letter of recommender, it makes a lot of sense in my petition. It is very very helpful and it's one of the strongest, I must say, uh, strongest evidence to put across to the USCIS. A VP of engineering at a different company who says we adopted this matters a lot. So I have a company and this is fine, but somebody from another company come and say that, hey, whatever she has built, we have adopted it. It makes more sense because it's out of the company or the employer, somebody else is seeing your work and adopting it. Is far more valuable than your own manager saying they did a great job. Okay. Now, critical role is a in a distinguished organization. So, before I move ahead with the doc, critical role plays a plays a major role in your the petition as well because it talks a lot about the criticality and complex nature of work that you are doing. So a lot of decision making powers and leadership qualities, there are two ways to define the critical or leadership role. So we are actually talking about only critical role, we are not talking about the leadership, which is very different segment than critical role. But before I move ahead with critical role, any of you have any questions based on original contribution?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mhm.
Yeah, I worked for a startup. Like I was kind of like one of the first engineers to be like hired for the startup. Yeah, and the startup was successful, and it eventually got acquired by a different company. Okay, So like after that, like I moved out of that company, and the startup is still growing. So like if have to say that I'm an original contributor, like what kind of proofs that I have to show? Like, is it just like a recommendation letter from the founders, or like what can I show as a original content creator for that purpose?
Interesting question. Could you also tell me what actually originally contributed there? Like, are you like
Yeah.
one of the core member where you have developed the software or technology?
Yes. So this was like back in 2018, where there were like no LLMs or chat GPTs or anything like that. So like I was the first engineer to be working for that company, for the startup. And so I developed a software which takes food orders through text messages.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
And so like when I was there, like it has taken like it has processed like more than 3 million text orders. And like we were serving like around 500 different restaurants back then. Now the count has increased, now it is operating in more than 800 restaurants, and it has processed over like 10 million orders.
Okay, interesting, nice. I'll tell you what all documents you can accumulate to prove that that was originally contributed by you. Number one, definitely
Mm-hmm.
a letter of recommendation by founders will help you. Number two,
Okay.
you have created this technology. So
Mhm.
I believe there has to be a codings around there, what you have built. A
Yes. Yeah.
technology document, actually, the core document that you have done or worked on it between you and your founders, that can be used. Although
Mm-hmm.
USCIS might not understand that in core, but that really helps to build and furnish the evidence because that is the truth of your technology. Number three, you can also get the customer reviews. Like there are like lots of uh, customer reviews, like people have used that particular technology, so your company might have those kind of reviews from the customers or the agreements engaged with the different companies, like the partnership companies. You can get
Mm-hmm.
those as well. Number three, I believe there is a list of people who are adopting this particular technology at that time. We can have those list of people as well, right?
Okay.
And
Yes.
number five, I think that if that particular technology has been patented or any novelty has been situated, like established in the company, because now it has been grown. So
Mhm.
this growth is because you were a founding person, like a founding engineer with them, and you have came across in that level. So you are an integral part. Okay, so
Oh,
you
yeah.
also can showcase that how if there is a patent already built, you have to ask them if they might have come across a patent. So those you can just say them that patent might not be under your name because you have left
Mm.
that organization, but we still can use that patent in proving that technology has been built or has been you were the founding engineering person inside it. So my point is it's not just about what we have, it's also
Mhm.
about we have to connect the dots of each evidence.
I
And
see. Got it.
USCIS, to know USCIS, so this expert letter from my founder, he is
Mhm.
telling me this truth that I have done this work. The
Okay.
technological document, the tech document that I have given you, it shows that this is mine that I have created. That is what
I
verified in the expert testimonial letter by my founder. And then
I see.
the customers that who has used this have been
Mhm.
using this since that year. So the day when this technology was developed, so on that particular year and the preceding year they were using it, so those dates and days are very, year is very important. After that, if you are getting a patent, so patent is being the patent has been registered under this technology because
Mm.
right now the particular technology or particular method is going at par and people are like using it. So this is
Yeah.
how you correlate the documents.
I see. Got it. Yeah, I think yeah, there were like a few media articles that were published about this like technology back in like 2020 or so. And so there were some customer testimonials as well, like, so
Yes.
I think, yeah, I think those will do. Okay, yeah.
Yes, definitely
Yeah.
the media and press article will also help if it is already there. Uh,
Mhm.
Please feel free to utilize them in the original contribution and relate them, because verification by the founder is going to help a lot. And correlating all other documents and verified by the founder itself brings a lot of changes. So definitely use those media press articles. That really going to help because it's back from 2020, 2018. And right now we are in 2026. Also, it's very important to showcase USCIS that you are continuously continuously sustained acclamation, like you are building things from the root, from very old. So we have to also showcase the same thing in the petition.
I see. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll go ahead and learn about the critical role. Okay. This is the criterion that people in tech are most likely to underestimate. USCIS is not asking whether you had a senior title. They are asking whether the organization would have meaningfully struggled without you. That is a higher bar, but it is also one that many strong engineers and technical leaders genuinely meet and just do not document correctly. The problem is, I feel this. A lot of my clients are doing amazing work, but they don't know actually whether we should do it, because by default, they think that this is a part of our job. Yes, it is. That's why it's very technical and complex in nature. And we should be able to understand that everything can be documented and bring it up, right? The criterion has two parts. The role itself must be critical and the organization must be distinguished. You need to show both. A critical role in a small startup with no external reputation does not satisfy this on its own, and a supporting role at Google does not either. So, see, the point here is very simple. You have to prove two things. Number one, your role is very critical. Number two, without you, the company could not have sustained. Like Jeevan's example, if he would not be the founding engineering person of that organization or that particular startup, it might be something else today, because the idea and the development was his. So this particular example fits into this, but he does not know from where, what documents to be utilized, because at that time when he was building it, he would have thought that, okay, this might not be that helpful, but I have to build right now, let's see. But now when he go back and check what I have done, so he has realized that, oh, this can be used as the original contribution, and this can also be used in the critical role, right? Now, what makes an organized distinguished? USCIS looks for reputation indicators for tech companies. This include recognized brand in the industry, well known among practitioners, not just to the general public. So it shouldn't be like, okay, Google is very big, so it has to have Google. No, Microsoft is very big. Something needs to come from Microsoft. Nothing like that. It has to be like practiced, and people among the practitioners understand that, oh, this is my competition or this is my competitor. Like, for example, if I wanted to buy a soft drink, right? So there are different kinds of soft drinks like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, Mirinda. These are like practitioners of the same segment. So they know each other. If any one of the company wants to come up with critical role, yeah, it is not just used by the people, but it is being practiced, and it is very common among the practitioners. So I'm giving just an example to understand how the well-known possibility of well-known can be defined. Awards, rankings, or inclusion in notable list, Y Combinator, Forbes, Cloud 100, etc. It's just a very high level example given, but it does not mean that it has to come across only these. It can be something else according to the segment or field of expertise. Significant funding rounds from respected investors, especially with press coverage. Scale indicators, user count, revenue milestones, downloads, transaction processed. Participation in industry bodies, standards, groups, or research collaborations. So these are fundamentally a kind of like checklist for the critical role. So somebody who has got funding, I've worked with a lot of founders and they receive lot of fundings like angel investors, venture capital. We do use as a critical role and also as an award. A lot of people doesn't know about it, but the venture capital also act as an award because somebody has seen your work and has been touched by it and wanted to invest in it a number of money or a kind of investment, it termed as an award. So significant funding rounds respected investors, especially with press coverage. Usually press coverage comes in when there is a big collaboration happening or big investment happening. But with smaller collaboration and smaller investment, it is very difficult. But it's not something very mandatory. It's one of the document that can be taken care of. Participation in industry bodies, standard groups, or research collaborations. Definitely, if there is a participation, collaboration on that particular, for that particular critical role that you've been doing, and because of your critical role or your dynamics of in the company, if something big has been achieved, definitely then there is a collaboration. Coverage in credible tech publication, TechCrunch, Wired, MIT. These are some of the publications that it is named famed. Even a startup can be distinguished if it has a clear reputation signal, being the company that built a widely known open source project or the first to solve a particular problem in the industry carries weight. Somebody is like a startup, but they have solved a problem which is like, or they have solved a gap which is like industry based. It carries a lot of weight. The only part over here is to showcase USCIS with the right documentation. What makes a role critical? Title alone is not enough. A staff engineer who drove a project that generated $50 million in revenue is a much easier case than a VP who managed a team doing routine work. What you are looking for is evidence that you made decisions that would have been made differently or not made at all without you. The product team or system you led had a measurable impact on the company's success. You were brought in specifically for your expertise, not interchangeable with others at your level. Others inside or outside the company recognized your role as a pivotal during a particular phase. The organization is in a distinctly better position today because of specific decisions you made. So it's very easy to prove that a staff engineer has generated $50 million, but it is significantly very difficult to even prove that how the VP of engineering has done something, something exceptional with the daily routine work. A small decision can make or break next move of the company, and that weight that VP of that company carries on their shoulder. But we have to document it. How to document the critical role? There is where most petitions fall short. Saying I led the infrastructure team will not going to help you. It's a kind of a job description. What you need is evidence. Here is what works. Organizational charts that show your position relative to leadership and critical functions. Performance reviews or promotion documents that explicitly describe your impact. Internal announcements, emails, or memos that name you as the driver of a key initiative. Press releases or media coverage that names you specifically. Expert letters from executives or board members describing why your role was so essential. Equity grants or compensation benchmarks showing you were treated as a key person. These are some of the documents that you can showcase being a VP engineering of your company. It's a more critical role because the decision making is in your hands, right? The right way to frame a critical role. Think of it is this way. You are building a short narrative that answers one question. What would have happened to this company if this person had left 2 years ago? Think about it. If Jeevan might have left the comp if Jeevan might have if Jeevan has left the company in the year 2021, by chance, if he would have left the company in 2019, then where the company would have stood right now? Somewhere in the middle or somewhere else? We don't know. But we have to push that gap inside that expert testimonial letter by the founder from where he's going to get it. If the honest answer is things would have been significantly worse, and you can back that up with evidence, you have a strong case. Common situation in tech. You were the founding engineer or early technical hire at a startup that grew significantly. Your architecture decisions are still running the product today. This is a very strong critical role story. You just need letters, org charts, and business metrics to tell it properly. Okay. Now okay. Before I jump to the documentation checklist, anybody else have any questions based on critical role?
I just have a quick logistical question. Will this document be like, can we access it later?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna share this document to all of you after this call, and you can like take a look into it and use it if it works for you.
Great, thanks.
All right, let's move ahead with the document checklist. Use this checklist to organize your petition package. You will not need every item listed, definitely. Please note that every document that I'm pushing is not something that you can get it. It's very difficult. If you get it, it's good. But if you not get it, don't think in mind that it's a blocker. It's not. Because there are other evidence that might not be written here and you are able to gather those. So basically, I tell you something very, honest answer. There is never a checklist by the USCIS for any document. Those are the kinds of examples they do perceive that it should be like this. But there is no full stop for a creativity on the document part that it's not coming or fitting under the larger domain of it. There may be hundreds and thousands of other supportive documents that can showcase your critical role or original contribution. So let's see what it says. More is not always better. Well organized and clearly labeled always beats a large disorganized pile. As we know, we need to have petition for non-immigrant worker, O supplement, support letter, written advisory opinion from a peer group or labor organization. These are some basic things that you guys like can go back again and check it. Something that I'm gonna explain bit by bit is in terms of original contribution of major significance. Okay. So gather evidence in each sub-area that applies to you. You do not need to have all of them again. So publish research and technical writing. Copies of peer-reviewed papers you authored or co-authored. My personal experience, always go for co-authorship. It's going to help a lot. If you have a friend or if you have somebody who is in your same field of domain, rather than being single author, like if you have planned like I want to publish 6 papers, like you have started preparing in mind that I'm gonna have O-1 for myself, let me prepare something amazing stuffs, and you decided I'll have 6 papers or 5 papers or 4 papers, please keep it blend and mix. Do not only do single authorship. It's not a problem, you can do it. But if you do a co-authorship, it helps you in many ways at the time of citation. Maybe a possibility that, you have a co-author, somebody has like his friend or his source. So my point is, when it's going to be uploaded or getting, significantly flashing over the domain like Google Scholar page or ResearchGate, what happens is, if there is 2 co-authors or 3 or 4 co-authors at max, it's going to be very helpful in terms of citing to it. Many people, a lot of awareness. One authorship, I'm not saying it's not going to be aware, but it's going to take significant larger amount of time as comparatively to 4 co-authors. Okay. Google Scholar or Semantic Scholar printout showing citation counts. Now, I have heard this many times. Swati, I have this paper, I want 10 citations. Swati, I have this paper, I want 60 citations. See, something which is something organically that needs to be built is getting the citation work automatically, and this thing takes time. You do not have control over it. We do not have control over it. It comes automatically when somebody registers your beautiful work, a novel work, and thought of, let's just use this work. We have to be patient enough to get this work. Citation cannot be built in a day. It takes a lot of time. Yeah, there are technical ideas of how to add citations that I can like tell you in a later any other office hour, but it needs to be built with time. Preprints on um, SSRN or similar platforms with download or view counts. Okay. If you have the SSRN upload in that, it's one of the website where authorship articles are there, and people do read free of cost just by paying and subscribing SSRN, and they are having very high quality papers uploaded for their own knowledge and educational purpose. If such kind of platforms are using your authorship articles, it's gonna be helpful a lot. Technical blog post with clear evidence of reach. It's a very niche based. So, for example, if you are writing a trade blog in a trade publication, kind of, it's going to be cited in a different manner. It can be cited in an authorship article. It can have a LinkedIn engagement metrics. It can have like comments, screenshots. People might have kept it with them and shared in the screenshots, and you might come to know after 1 month or 3 months that hey, it's been rotating. Those kind of screenshots are very helpful to showcase that, see, my work has been like spread. Letters from researchers or practitioners who cite or applied your work. Definitely, that is one of the point that I wanted to discuss. If somebody has already a professor level, has already cited your work, you will definitely got to know that my work has been cited through the Google Scholar page or the ResearchGate. You can check who has cited my work. You can reach out to them in LinkedIn, or if they have an email ID, write them an email ID. Ask them, hey, you have cited my work. I am going to apply for some immigration purpose visa. Would you please give me a recommendation on it? Why you have cited my work? What moved you? And how you have seen how you are seeing my work. It's going to be tremendously impactful in your petition. Now, open source and public projects. There are many of my clients who come to me and say that, see, I have done this work, Swati, but I did not earn money. This was a novel work that I did a long time back, and I really wanted to use this thing. A lot of people are using this particular technology, and it has arrested a bridge between phase one and phase two, and it can be anything. So, GitHub repository with stars, forks, and contributor count. Print or screenshot inside page, not just the main page. NPM, PayPI, or the other package manager download statistics. Here you can also think about a book. If somebody or anybody of you have did a book, like wrote a book with a co-author, and how many downloads are there, who has purchased it, these are the counts that you can definitely use in terms of proving that it's an original contribution by you. And a book carries another value in your petition. It's not something that I believe that everybody should be, but somebody who is already into the research work or into writing, that is going to create a lot of significance. Dependent projects that use your package or library. The GitHub dependence page works well for this. News article, blog post, or documentation from other projects that mention your work. Community Discord, Slack, or GitHub discussions showing active user engagement. Lot of time, lot of people are, very much interested in discussing this, and keep sharing those things. That's going to useful a lot for you. Testimonial letters from companies or developers who adopted your project. Very distinguished and very reputable supportive document for O-1 and EB-1A as well. Patents and intellectual property. Copy of granted patents with your name listed as inventor, sorry. Patent application filing confirmation if not yet granted. It happens, as I said you a long time back, that there was a technology which is being used, but to secure that technology, the patent was filed. The grant did not came. The grant is about to come 3 months later, and I have a RFE. So here application filing will come to the picture. Evidence the patent was licensed, was commercially or cited by other patents. Press release or internal documentation describing the patent's business significance. Expert letter explaining what was novel about the invention and why it mattered. Technical influence and industry adoption. Okay. Documentation showing your method, tool, or architecture was adopted by others outside your organization. Conference talk recording conference talk recordings or slide decks where you presented the contribution. Evidence the contribution was covered or discussed in technical newsletter, podcast, or publications. Invitations to join technical advisory boards or standards working groups as a result of your work. So invitation here means can be an email invitation, can be, you can say a physical invitation as well. Expert letter from senior engineer or researcher at other organization confirming the significance. Yes. So significance is major segment of proving it. So please make sure that there is a significance coming out from everywhere for every document that you are doing. If not every document, for example, if there is particular one patent, like we say, like here. So significance should come that what the novel invention is talking about, how it has been used. See, used commercially or cited by other patents. That's how the major significance point number 3 shows in the patent. Likewise, for each and every original contribution, significant. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like just getting some messages. Critical role in a distinguished organization. Split your evidence into 2 parts. Proving the organization is distinguished and proving your role within it was critical. Establish the organization is distinguished. Press coverage of the company in credible publication. TechCrunch, Wired, Bloomberg, WSG, MIT Technology Review, The Verge. Funding announcement with named investors and amounts. Crunchbase printout plus press. It does not mean that if there is Crunchbase or TechCrunch or Wired, it has to be then that only. It can be any other press media as well, and that's okay. We just have to check the credibility and press statistics, how much unique visits it has, and it will clear out the understanding of how much that press carries value. Industry award listing or rankings, Forbes Cloud 100, Gardner Magic Quadrant, CB Insights Report, Deloitte Fast 500. It's okay. It doesn't have to be like this. It can be different as well. So please keep the options open. Evidence of company scale, user number, revenue, transaction volume, or market share. Annual reports, press release, or verified third-party data. Partnership announcement with well-known companies or government agencies. Open source projects the company is known for, if applicable. Academic or research collaborations with universities or labs. Now let's establish your critical role. Organizational chart showing your position, very important thing. If somebody is VP or somebody is like on a very leadership position, who all are actually, reporting to them, the hierarchy matters a lot. Ideally shows your span of influence, reporting structure, and key relationships. Job offer letter or promotion document specifying your responsibilities and why you were selected. Performance reviews that describe you in terms of impact, not just tasks completed. Internal communication naming you as the driver of a key product, feature, or initiative. Many a times there might be a situation that you're getting an email from your boss saying this, hey, you will be driving this key product. Those screenshots or those PDF versions of email also carries a lot of value. Internal assessment or internal, applaud also carries a lot of value. So, in case if you come across such kind of beautiful emails, please save it. Board meeting minutes or investor updates that reference your work by name. Like, hey, Jeevan has done this and it was like impacted a lot. Sometimes people document it. There are a lot of companies which document it. We can use those documents as well. Equity grant documentation showing you receive founder or real employee level equity. Any press coverage, podcast, or interviews where you are named as a key person at the company. Letter from CEO, CTO, or a board member describing what you contributed and why it mattered. Letters from technical peers or cross functional partners describing how your decisions affected their work. Revenue, user growth, or performance metrics tied to the period of your contributions before and after the comparisons work specifically well. How it happened when, how it was happening before you, and how it happened after you. Now, there are other key different criterias like high remuneration, awards, judging, press media coverage. And then I've also added a very beautiful way of how to write a expert testimonial letter, and quite of like potential understanding of how you can timeline your O-1 like in the period till 6 months. That's it. So, do you guys have any kind of questions for me today after this? If anybody has any kind of questions, please ask me. Yeah, Jaya, I'm Svetlina, and you can connect me over LinkedIn as well. But I'm more than happy to give you my email ID as well. Yeah, somebody wants to say something, Raj.
Yeah, I'm just I'm thinking about my question, how you put it across. Uh, so you said, so if you can, scroll up, where you were talking about the like the research citation to get the letter of recommendation or some kind of approval from those who used your work in their in their research work, in other words, kind of cited your work in their
Yeah.
work.
Mm-hmm.
um, I understand that if that person is an expert in that field, it will be
Mm-hmm.
helpful. But how, um, in place of that kind of expertise, can we go towards the number of people who can give a recommendation? Like if you don't get an expert, can you use, like, so many people have used your work instead of an expert saying that, okay, yeah, this
Yeah, I'm
is.
getting your question. So in your question, I understand that, many people have been using it and they can like vouch in for you. But also understand one point that the people who are many and vouching in for you, if they are not experts, but they are actually in the field of your domain and using it, that can be valuable
Okay.
in the same field. Okay. And we don't have to like always being like overly over like professor kind of. It
Right.
can be a situation that can be industry expert, or it can be a situation where a person using it and is actually benefiting from it. So it can be
Okay.
normal, usage of that particular technology by somebody who has to use it every time, like every day. That also creates a significant impact. Always remember, in such situations, the positioning of the profile matters a lot, like how your lawyer is arguing it. So you have
Mhm.
to explain them that this particular thing came like this way, this particular thing like is here because of this way. Then they
Right.
will able to understand that what needs to be argued in your memorandum.
Right. Um, yeah, I have one more question. In your document, like, if you scroll up, there was like you have to get three or more, you know, proofs for each of these or some of these categories. Is that how I should read it? Or
Yeah. Ideally, I'm not saying get everything, but
right?
ideally in the original contribution, your major significance carries a lot of value. So major significance is
Mhm.
means something you have created and it has majorly impacted. Okay.
Right.
Usage, the definition of usage has changed. People have started doing it in some different way, kind of things. So
Mhm.
how it was before and how it became later. Kind of some significance recognition of that particular work by the same people, same domain people, and then they used it. So ideally, it should be like not all of them can be like checklist, but at least 3 to 4 significantly check out. Like for example, letters from researcher or practitioner who cite or applied your work.
Your voice is breaking
Invite.
up. I don't hear anything.
Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Jeevan. So, my point is, if similar nature of documents are coming up, like letters from researcher or practitioners, or somebody called letters from expert industry. So, out of two, you can choose one. Nature of the documents should not get mix and match. If there are two nature of same documents, one can be escaped. And every document is not possible, only the areas which can be used, plus how these areas are significantly impacting the petition is also important.
Mhm.
Hey, I have a question. I don't know.
Mhm. Yes, yes, Prasad.
So, can we have can we still use pending patents? Is that an okay evidence or is that not?
You can use the patents which are at pending stage, but for that you have to showcase the application has been filed under your name, you are one of the inventor. And if that particular patent is being patented under a technology which needs to be protected because it was used and it is being under the usage of it, you can definitely use that particular technology stating that it is being created or invented by me, but patent needs to be filed because of XYZ reasons. We need to protect it in future because it has been extensively used. So yes, pending patents can be used with the filing application form stating that you are the inventor of one of the inventor of that patent or technology.
Okay. If nobody is using the patent, would filing it still benefit or it's no use?
See, after that, what you can do is this. If you are having a probability of using that patent after you have like, okay, we are going to use that patent. Sorry, we have a patent, okay, and it's going to be used you have a functional mindset that it's going to be used in certain manner, right? It is definitely be useful in the final merit determination that there is a scope of using the patent. You can have a pro bono patent licensing agreement or a kind of a professor writing for you that he has or she has used this patent in different ways or in this segment, and it is going to impact in this manner because patent usage takes time to be used. Like it takes a lot of time to be completely accepted. So usually it helps when it's an old patent, but it usually helps in the final merit determination to enhance your petition as well. So you cannot argue in the original contribution. If you have already started developing a patent and an idea, you can use it in the final merit determination. But you can definitely use the original contribution that you've been like doing in the past few years. That carries a lot of value rather than filing a patent fresh under and arguing under the original contribution. I'm not saying that it is not it's not usable, it is, but under a final merit determination to make sure that, you know, this is the probability of usage of the patent, and it will be impacted in such way on the society and the domain. So it carries a significant value and enhances your final merit determination, which is as equally important as phase one of the petition, that is all the 7 or 8 criteria that you are arguing for your O-1.
I got it. Thank you. May I know how could I get access to the script, to this doc? This how do I
Actually, I can share this doc with all of you. I do have who has attended the meeting. I will ask my team to share with all of you with your registered email ID. So you will receive it after this meeting.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.
Anybody else has any question?
Hi, just waiting for your email ID so that we can connect on LinkedIn.
I have yeah, my name is like this. Let me share with all of you my LinkedIn ID as well. Yes, I've shared it in the chat. I hope you guys are able to see it.
No.
You're not? Oh, okay. Wait. I actually explicitly send it to Jaya. Now?
That is the, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Any other questions? Let me also give you the access to this document in the chat so you guys can like access it right away. Yes. Okay. Was really nice meeting all of you. I hope to see all of you super soon. If you have any kind of questions or queries that I can really assist you with, please ping me on LinkedIn, or also you can like anytime ping me on my email ID. And I'm also in Open Atlas. If you text my name and search me, you can also directly DM me. Okay. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.